friends, welcome back to Digitalk. In this session, I am going to explain you how you can create a horizontal cluster from the admin console. So far, whatever the videos that I have posted with respect to the horizontal clustering, that is completely from the configuration wizard. That means we initiate the configuration wizard, okay, using config.sh or cmd, and then we do all the configurations of the complete cluster from the configuration wizard. And at last, we pack and unpack domain on the other nodes, right? But other option is that you can just have a create a plain domain with only one admin server, okay, which will be set up quickly using the configuration wizard. And then later you can start your admin server, and then using the admin console you can create the horizontal cluster. Okay, so that process I am going to explain you in this particular session. Okay, so let me first quickly create a domain. Okay, and in that domain, what I will do, I will just create one admin server. Okay, and once that admin server is created, I will start my domain. That means I will start my admin server. I will access the admin console, and then I will do all the configurations from the admin console for the horizontal clustering, and then I will pack and unpack using the domain using the pack and unpack command. Okay, so that I'm going to show you on a single machine, but I'm going to follow the same process that you have to follow for the multiple nodes in case you have a multiple servers for the horizontal clustering. Okay, now you can see that configuration wizard has been initiated. So first I will select the option create a domain, and then I will have to give the location for my domain. Okay, so for domain, I am going to give the location of this one. Okay, for that I have created a folder domains in the D directory, and then primary node, and then WLS domain. Okay, so irrespective of your operating system, whether it is whether it is a Windows or the Unix, the only difference is that you have to specify the path accordingly, right? So let me here give the location of my domain. This is the location of my domain. Okay, so let me click next. So I will select the basic domain template, right? And this is the very basic domain template that we use for creation of the WebLogic domain. So let me specify the password for my admin console. Okay, let me click on next. So I will create it in the development mode. Next. And what I will do now, I will only select the administration server, and rest of the configurations I will do from the admin console. Okay. So click on next. So this is the admin server, and I'm going to use the default port 7001. Okay. And then let me click on next. Okay. So this is my domain where I will have only the admin server. So let me create let me create. Okay. So now you can see that the domain is getting created in the backend, right? And let me click on next and then finish. Now you can see that my domain is created, but it is a plain domain. There is nothing. It's only one admin server, and this is the location of my domain. Now I will go inside the bin directory. Okay, and then let me start my admin server. Okay, so now because I have created my domain in the admin development mode, okay, it will not prompt me for the username and password. So if you are going to create it in production mode, then it will prompt you for the username and password until and unless you will going and you will create the bootloader properties file inside the security folder of the admin server root folder. So now my admin server is started. So let me access the admin console. So for this one, I will give the local host, and then port is 7001. Okay. So let me give the correct port is 7001. Okay. So this is a new domain. So first time it will take some time for deploying the slash console application. Okay, and once it is done, then it will give you the console for the username and password. Okay, now it is deployed. So let me log in. Okay, so now as of now, what we have only a plain domain where we have only one single admin server is running, and there is nothing apart from that, right? So now what we will do, we will create a horizontal cluster for two nodes. Okay, so one of the managed server will run on this particular machine, and second server will be for the other machine. Okay, however, in my testing case, I will be going to run my second server in the same machine, but the process that I am going to explain you, you have to follow that for the other machine. And at the last, I will unpack the domain on my this machine. So what you have to do, you have to unpack the domain using the same command on the other machine. Okay, there is no difference. Everything is same. Okay, the process that I am going to follow. So now here, if I go to servers, you can see that we have only one admin server. So now what we want a cluster, and inside the cluster we want two managed servers. scattered across the different servers or a machine. And then we will need the machine and then a node manager to remotely control our managed servers, or to control the managed servers from the admin console. We need the node manager, right? So first, because we are going to create managed servers in the cluster, so we have to create a cluster. So for that, you have to go to the cluster option, click on new and then cluster option. Okay. So here you can give a name. Let me give as a demo cluster. Okay, and the messaging mode, we are going to select the unicast, which is the by default, this is the communication method which is used by your cluster for the communication between the multiple or the different managed servers and with the admin servers as well, which you have in your cluster. Okay, so admin server apparently will not be part of your cluster. Okay, but the communication has to be done with the admin server as well, right? But the intercommunication between all of the managed server will be happen with the help of this unicast. Okay, so now click on OK. Okay, so this is going to create a cluster for you with the name of demo cluster, right? And the method of the communication is unicast. Now you can see that your cluster is created and no restart are necessary for this one. So now I will create two managed servers. So let me click on new. Okay, let me show you again. For that, you have to go to servers, click on new, and then you have to give the name. So let me give demo manage server 1. Okay, so listen address by default. Let me select the same which where I'm this server is running is localhost. Okay, and then let me specify the port as 7003 for this particular managed server. And here I will select yes, make this server a member of existing cluster. Okay, and here I will select the cluster that I have created, which is demo cluster. Click on next and then click on finish. Okay, so this will create one of the managed server which will listen on the port 7003. Okay, and it is shutdown state, and this is part of the cluster. Similarly, let me create one more machine and let me give it, sorry, manage server. Let me give a name demo manage server 2, and this is going to listen on the port 7004. Okay, and I will make it yes, part of the cluster, and I will select my cluster, then click on next. This is a summary, then click on finish. Okay, so now here what we have admin server and two managed servers. So now let me uh, show you one important configurations what we have done and what you have to follow in case of a horizontal clustering. So manage server 1, this manage server 1 is supposed to be run on this particular machine where we have our admin server, right? So that's why we have given the listen address as localhost. That means this will be the IP address or DNS of my primary machine where my admin server is supposed to run, right? Now, if I talk about this second managed server, okay, so here the listen address, you have to specify the listen address of the machine or the secondary or second node on which this managed server is supposed to be run, right? Because once we will pack and unpack the domain on the secondary machine, then this managed server, which is managed server 2, will have to run on the second node, right? So that means it will listen on the IP address of that particular machine. So in my case, I am going to have this managed server on my the same machine. Okay, so what I will give the local host, otherwise it will select by default automatically. Okay, but what you have to do when you are doing this horizontal clustering, here you have to specify the IP address or DNS of the machine on which this server supposed to run. Okay, so in my case, as I said, I am going to create in the same machine, so I will going to have the configuration as the local host for listen address. Okay, and let me save. Now let me go to here. So here what we have two managed servers. This managed server first, this is supposed to run on the same machine where we have our admin server, and this second managed server is supposed to run on the second node, which is a part of the horizontal cluster. And that's why for this we have given the listen address as the IP address of that particular machine. Similarly, if you have a multiple servers, few more nodes in your horizontal cluster, create managed server for each and every machine. And when you are creating the machine, specify the IP address in the listen address of that particular managed server. This is the important considerations when you are going to create the managed server, right? So we have created one cluster. Inside that we have created two managed servers, and what need to do, we have to create the machine and we have to configure the node manager. Right. So in horizontal clustering, what we are saying that we have a two node horizontal clustering. That means we will have a two node. So that means we need two machines, right? For the corresponding node manager. So let me create first and then let me give it as a name machine node 1. Okay. And then machine type you can select. If it is a Linux machine, Unix based machine, you can select Unix. If it is a Windows, then you can go with the other. Okay. By default type, I will be going to use the same SSL. And then listen address, here is the listen address localhost, because this is supposed to run on my same machine. And this is the port. Okay. And then you can click on finish. Okay. So this will configure a machine along with a node manager, which will be running on the 5556 port on this particular machine. Now, this is the configuration, or you can say this is the machine which is supposed to run on the primary server, where your admin server is running, and on that server you have a managed server that we are going to control with the this particular node manager. Now we have a two node in this horizontal cluster. So for the secondary machine, again we have to create one more machine. Let me give it as a name of machine node 2. Let me click on next. And now again here, just like the important configuration that I have explained for the managed server, you have to specify the IP address of your secondary machine, right? Other machine on which that particular managed server is supposed to be run. So here again, this managed server, secondary managed server, is supposed to be run on your second machine, right? So here you have to specify the IP address or DNS of that secondary machine, right? Just like we have specified for the managed server 2. Similarly, the same IP address or DNS you have to specify here. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm going to create second machine, and this machine is again supposed to run on this particular host, because I have only a single host. Okay, so I will go with the same local host, and let me click on finish. Okay, and now what we have a two machines here, machine node 1, machine node 2, and this machine node 2 it is for the primary machine where our admin server is running, and this machine 2 is supposed to be run on the secondary node, right? Similarly, if you have a multiple horizontal nodes, okay, like you are going to create more than two managed servers in your horizontal cluster. So for each and every managed servers, we have to define a corresponding machine and the corresponding node manager configuration here. And just like similarly, you will define the listen address for your managed server. Similarly, when you are going to create the machine and when you are specifying the listen address and port of the node manager, then make sure to specify it which will be on that particular horizontal cluster machine, right? So now what we have to do, we have to modify the managed server configurations, right, to assign this machine. Okay, so here we have the option, like let me show you again. So this is the machine node 1 and node 2. So if I click on machine 1, and then here you can see you have a option of servers. So either you can select it from here, or you can assign it from the servers location. So let me show you again. So this is the server tab. If I click on the manage server 1, then here you can see option machine, and it is in Dropbox. You can see the options of machines, right? Similarly, if you go to machines and click on your particular node machine, and here you will also have a tab called servers, and by using the add, you can add manage server to this machine from here as well, right? So what I will do, to machine 1, I will assign my manage server 1, right? Let me click on next. Okay, and to second machine, you have to select the manage server 2. Now you can see that this is the demo manage server 1. Okay, and we have assigned the machine. So now if I go to the clusters and let me click on this one again, now you can see that the machine is displaying here, right? So similarly, let me show you to assign from here. So now similarly, we have to assign the machine for second manage server as well. So let me click on manage server, and here I will select the machine 2. Then click on save. Okay, so now what we have done, we have assigned the machine as well. So now you can see what we have done. We have created a cluster with the name of demo cluster. After that, we have created two managed servers, right? Demo managed server 1 and demo managed server 2. For demo managed server 1, which is supposed to run on the same admin host, you have to specify the listen address of this particular machine where your admin server is running. And when you are configuring the managed server 2, you have to specify the listen address of that particular machine in that server which is supposed to be run, right? And then we have created two machines. Inside machines, we have configured the node manager. For machine 1, we have specified the IP address of machine 1, because this is going to manage the manage server 1, which is running on this machine. And for machine 2, we have configured the listen address for our node manager as the same listen address what we have specified for this particular manage server, right? Because this is going to be removed. So now what we have done, we have configured everything on the primary node. This is my primary node because my admin server is running on my primary node, and I am access the admin console, and I have done all the configurations from the admin console, right? So what I will do now, we have to pack and unpack this domain, okay, on the secondary machine, so that my this secondary managed server should run on the second machine. But before going that, what I will do, I will show you, I will up my primary managed server, because this server is supposed to run on this particular machine, right? So there is no dependency of the secondary as of now. So for that one, what we have to do, I have to bring up my node manager first, right? So let me go to my domain here, and let me start my node manager. Okay, so now you can see that my node manager started on 5556 port, and this we can verify from the admin console as well. If I now go to machine, if I click on here and then monitoring, then you can see the node manager is reachable. Okay, so for me, it will show you the reachable for secondary machine as well. Why? Because for in my case, I have created both machines on my this single machine. That means my node manager is same for my both of machines. But in your case, if you are if you have created this machine for the secondary node, this status will show you not reachable unless you will pack and unpack domain on the secondary machine, and after that you will start the node manager, right? So now what I will do, I will start my manage server one, and let me show and let me see if it is coming up or not. Okay, so we will validate whether it is coming up or not. Okay, now it is in a starting state. Okay, and we'll wait for some time. Okay, and once we are sure that okay, it is also up and running, coming properly, then we will pack the domain, unpack again. Okay, and then we will start the secondary machine as well. Okay, so now you can see that manager one is up and running. So now what I will do, I will quickly force shut down this server. Okay, so before making the pack of my domain, okay, what I will do, I will make sure that everything is down. Okay, so let me bring down my manage server one. It will take some time to bring down the server, and after that I will bring down my admin server as well. Okay, just to ensure that everything is down when I am going to pack the domain. Okay, okay, so now you can see that server one is down. Okay, so now I will shut down my admin server as well. Okay, so for that, let me go to here. Okay, so this is my node manager, and let me go to the, you can shut down it from the admin console as well. But sometimes what has happened that when we shut down it from the admin console, it takes some time to process to be killed or to be down from the backend. Okay, so let me press Control C because I'm on the Windows. Right, so my admin server is down now. Okay, it will not be accessible now. So now what I will do, I will pack the domain, okay, and I will unpack. So what I'm going to do, I will unpack on my same machine, but in a different location. And but if you are on doing it on the different machine, you have two machines, then follow the same process for the secondary machine. Okay, so what I will do now, I will go to the this is my Oracle home. Inside that, you have to go to Oracle underscore common, and then bin folder. So here you will have a script called pack and unpack. Let me show you. This is the pack script. Similarly, you will have a unpack as well. Okay, for Unix it is an pack.sh, and for Windows pack.cmd. Okay, so let me go here. Okay, and let me show you the command. So I am here right now. Let me go here. Okay, I am there right now, and then you have to run the command pack.cmd sh in case of Linux. Then you have to give the location of your domain, the name of the template. This will be the jar file that will be packed, which you need to copy on the secondary machine and then unpack, right? And then template name, and then manage equal to true. So let me go here and let me try to run this command. Let me show you the explain you the syntax again. Pack.cmd.sh in case of a Linux or Unix based system. Hyphen domain, this is the complete path of your domain, okay, which you are going to pack. Hyphen template is the name of your jar file, and you can specify any location wherever you want to create it. Then hyphen template, you can give any name for the template, and then hyphen manage equal to true. So now you can see that this domain jar file is created, right? So now you have what you have to do, you have to copy this jar file to the secondary machine. Okay, copy this to the secondary node. Okay, so I'm not going to copy it anywhere because I'm going to create on the same machine for exercise for demo purpose. Okay, but if you are doing out on the two machines, then copy this particular jar file, or you can say the template which is created on the secondary machine. Okay, so let me show you this is the location, and here we will see that we have a jar file is created, right? So now what I have to do, I have to unpack it in a different location. That means the remote machine, right? So for that, again, I have to go to the same location. So let me go to the Oracle underscore common, then common, and then bin directory, right? So here we will have a file called unpack.sh. So what I will do, I will run the command unpack.sh hyphen domain, and this is the location for my domain. Okay, so here you have to specify the location of the domain on your secondary machine. Okay, and then I will specify the complete path of my domain file. So let me go here. Okay, CLS. Okay, so let me run the unpack command. Okay, so this is just unpack command which is going to unpack the domain in this particular location. Okay, and this is the template file. So in case of a two node, when you have a two node, then what I said, you have to copy this jar file in the secondary machine. Once this jar file is copied in the secondary machine, then you can run this command. Here you have to specify the location of your domain, and then in the template you can give the complete path where you have copied this particular jar file. Now you can see that this domain is extracted, and let me go and show you here as well. Okay, so if I go to domain, so this is the primary domain which I have created for my admin server and manage server 1, right? And this is a secondary domain which I have just extracted. Okay, so this is the domain which I have just extracted, right? And one workaround, let me show you. Okay, anyway, when it is required, then I will tell you on that part. Okay, if you get any error on that part. So now, so we have now extracted our domain on the secondary node as well, right? So now what we have to do, we have to start our admin server and we will test. Okay, so this is my node manager. So let me go here again. Okay, so I haven't stopped my node manager. Okay, let me do it here right now. Okay, so now what I will do first, I will start my admin server. Okay, let me start the admin server first. Okay, and in parallel, I will start the node manager as well. So now because I have everything on the same machine, so I will going to use the same node manager for both of managed servers. So in case of a two machines, what you have to do, you have to start your admin server, and after that you have to start the node manager on both of machines. Now because now you have unpacked the domain on the secondary machine as well, so go ahead and then start the node manager on the secondary machine as well. Okay, so this is started, and let me access the console again, and let me go back here and let me show you. Okay, let me log in and then I will show you. Okay, so now we have a secondary domain also in place. Okay, so let me try to start both of the manage server from the admin console. Okay, so make sure, but before make sure, as I said, in case of a horizontal cluster, you have to start the node manager on each and every machine, right? So let me go to control and let me try to start it. Okay, so now you can see that both of the manage server are in starting state. It will take some time for manage server to come up. Okay, so now you can see that both of the managed servers are up and running. Okay, so that means we have successfully configured the horizontal clustering using the admin console. Okay, so the important considerations, let me explain you again. When you are configuring the managed servers, make sure to specify the proper listen address of the machines on which that particular managed server is supposed to be run. When you are configuring the machine and node manager, then make sure to specify the corresponding machine IP or DNS name when you are configuring the node manager. Okay, and after pack and unpack domain on each and every machine, first you have to start the node manager on each and every machine, and then you can bring up the managed servers with the help of admin console. And let me show you the domain location as well. So in the machine one, I have created the domain with the name of primary node and then WLS domain, right? And when I unpack the domain on the secondary machine, the name of the domain I have given secondary node and then WLS domain. So my domain name is same on both of the machines, but path could be different. The domain path could be different. right? So this is how we configure the horizontal clustering with the help of admin console. Thank you.